This is more of a pale yellow yarn. I got this yarn from Hobby Lobby just because it was on sale. We'll see how it goes. And I have a 5.5mm hook. I also have a stitch marker set to the side along with a pair of scissors. So the first thing we're going to do is make a magic ring. And we're going to put 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So to do our magic ring, we're going to lay our thread here, wrap it over the top of our fingers, under and over across the top, making this X. I hold the tail of my yarn with my pinky here to keep it in place. We're going to go under the first thread, over the second, pulling it down, twisting it towards you and upward, grabbing the working yarn and pull down and through the loop. And that makes our magic ring. Doesn't matter if you move the tail, you can if you want to. And we're going to do 6 single crochets into this magic circle. So we're going to put the hook into the circle, grab the yarn, pull up, yarn over, and pull through both loops on your hook. I'll meet you guys back when I have 6 single crochets. Alright, so we tightened it down, and now we're going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch of that round. You're going to yarn over, pull through, and pull all the way through to do our slip stitch. And we're going to do our round 2. Our round 2 has 2 single crochets into each stitch. So going into the stitch that we just slip stitched into, we're going to place 2 single crochets. So we have 1 and 2. We're going to go ahead and place a stitch marker into the first stitch here. Just like this. And then we're going to continue with 2 single crochets into each stitch. So into our next stitch, we're going to do put through, yarn over, pull through 2, put in, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to keep doing this all the way around. At the end, you're going to have 12 single crochets. I'll meet you guys back to slip stitch for this round. Alright, so we have our 12 single crochets here. We're going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch of the beginning of this round. Same as we did in the first round, just like this. And we're going to get ready for the next round. It's going to be 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet into the next. And we're going to repeat that sequence all the way around. At the end we'll have 18 stitches. So we're going to do 1 and 2 and then 1 single crochet. Now we have our 3 stitches. We're going to place our stitch marker here in the first stitch and continue our sequence. So we're going to do 2 into the next stitch. So 1 and 2 and then 1 single crochet. Keep repeating this all the way around. At the end you'll have 18 single crochets. I'll meet you guys back to do the slip stitch. So finished with our round 3, we're going to do our slip stitch again into the first stitch of this round. Getting ready for the next round. It's going to be 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches and then 2 single crochets into the next. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then 2 into the same stitch, 1 and 2. So now we have 4 stitches so far. We're going to continue to repeat this sequence all the way around. At the end of this sequence we're going to have 24 stitches. I'm going to place our stitch marker here at the beginning and we're going to continue with our sequence. I'm going to do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets into the same stitch. 1 and 2. Meet you guys back at the end of this round. At the end of this round, you'll have 24 stitches. Alright, so we finished our round 4. We're going to do our slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. Getting ready for round 5. Round 5 is going to be 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So we're going to do 1 and 2, and then 1 in the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So we got our first 5 stitches. We're going to get our stitch marker. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place our stitch marker here. Continue with the sequence of 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. At the end of this round, you'll have a total of 30 stitches. So we finished with our round 5. We're going to do our slip stitch. So round 6 has a bit of a different sequence. We're going to first start off with 2 single crochets. So doing our 2 single crochets, we got 1 single crochet and 2. And we're going to start this sequence of 2 single crochets in 1 stitch and then 4 single crochets and repeat that 5 times. So we're going to do 1 and 2 and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go ahead and place our stitch marker here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to continue repeating that sequence. So we did that sequence once. We're going to repeat it 4 more times. So we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 2, 3. So we're going to repeat that 3 more times. I'll meet you guys back before we change the sequence. And the sequence that we're repeating is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, so we finished that sequence that we did 5 times. And we have a few more stitches for this round 6. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So 1, 2, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 36 stitches. We're going to do a slip stitch here into the first stitch of this round, just like that. And now we're getting ready for round 7. Alright, so we're ready for round 7. Round 7 is pretty simple. We're going to do a increase of 2 single crochets into the first stitch and then 1 single crochet into the next 5. We're going to start off with 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet into the next 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we have 7 stitches. We're going to place our stitch marker here at the beginning, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Place our stitch marker right here. And we're going to do this again. We're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet into the next 5, Repeat this all the way around. At the end of this round, you'll have 42 stitches. Alright, so we finished our round 7. We're going to move our stitch marker out of the way, do our slip stitch for this round. So we're getting ready for round 8. We're going to start off with 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to start a repeat sequence of 2 single crochets into the first stitch and then 1 single crochet into the next 6. So we're going to do 1, 2, and that's our increase, and then 1 single crochet into the next 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to repeat this same sequence 5 times, just like we did in row 6. So we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet into the next 6. Repeat this 4 more times. I'll meet you guys back at the end of this round to finish off the round 8. Alright, so we finished our 5 sequences of that round 8. We're going to finish the rest of round 8. We're going to do a increase of 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So 1 and 2. And we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And that's the end of round 8. Round 8 has 48 stitches. We're going to slip stitch for round 8 and get started on round 9. This is what we have so far. So round 9 is an increase in the first stitch of 2 single crochets in 1 and then 1 single crochet in the next 7. So we have 1, 2, and then we're going to do 1 in the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're going to repeat this same sequence of 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches all the way around. At the end of round 9, you're going to have 54 stitches. Meet you guys back to do the slip stitch. Alright, so we finished with round 9. Going to do our slip stitch, getting ready for round 10. Alright, so ready for round 10. We're going to start off with 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to go ahead and place my stitch marker now so we don't get too far ahead. And then we're going to start another sequence like we have been doing in the previous couple of rows. We're going to do an increase with 2 single crochets in 1 stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches, and then repeat that 5 times. And then we'll come back and finish off the last few stitches of round 10. So we're going to do 2 stitches in the same stitch and then 1 single crochet in 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you're going to repeat that same sequence 4 more times. I'm going to do an increase with 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. Meet you guys back at the end, right before we finish off round 10. So I finished repeating that sequence 5 times. Now we're going to do a increase of 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 to finish off this round 10. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So at the end of this round you should have 60 stitches. And we're going to do our slip stitch here, getting ready for round 11. So now that we're ready for round 11, you'll have start off with an increase and then 1 single crochet in the next 9 stitches. So we'll do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So 1, 2, that's our increase, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you're going to continue to repeat this sequence of an increase of 2 single crochets in 1 stitch and then 1 single crochet in 9 stitches. At the end of this round 11, you'll have a total of 66 stitches. I'll meet you guys back at the end of this round to do our slip stitch. Alright, so we finished with our round 11. It's getting pretty large now. We're going to do our slip stitch, getting ready for round 12. And slip stitch into the first stitch of this round, like that. And for round 12, we're going to do one of those fancy sequences again. We're going to start off with 1 single crochet in the first 5 stitches. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker down here in the first stitch, and then we're going to start that sequence again. So we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets in the next stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next 10 stitches, and repeat that 5 times. So do 1 and 2, that's our increase, and then we'll do 1 single crochet in 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to repeat this sequence 4 more times since we just did it once. The sequence again is going to be an increase of 2 single crochets in 1 stitch and then 1 single crochet in 10 stitches. Do that 4 more times. I'll meet you guys back here. Okay, so we repeated that sequence 5 times for round 12. We're going to finish round 12 off with an increase, so 2 single crochets in the next stitch, so 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 5. My 5th one is really tight to get into. It's alright, we'll work into it anyways. There we go. There we go. We'll do our slip stitch of our round. There we go. And that's our round 12. So getting started on our round 13, we're going to do an increase and then 11 single crochets. So we're going to start with an increase of 1 and 2. Get our stitch marker in there real quick. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 11 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We're going to repeat this sequence all the way around. For round 13, we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet in the next 11 stitches. Repeat this all the way around. At the end of this round, you'll have a total of 78 stitches. Alright, so this is the end of our round 13. Do our slip stitch, getting ready for round 14. We're almost done with the base. So for round 14, we're going to start off with 6 single crochets. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got our first 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place our stitch marker here. And then we're going to continue this sequence of, we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets into this stitch and then 1 single crochet into 12 stitches. Repeat that 5 times, and then we're going to meet back at the end to finish off round 14 together. So we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet in the next 12 stitches. Alright, so we've gotten to finish the 5 sets of the repeating sequence on round 14. We're going to finish it off with an increase of 1 and 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this round 14 has a total of 84 stitches. We're going to do our slip stitch real quick and get ready for round 15. We'll do our slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. Now we're ready for round 15. So for round 15, we're going to start off with an increase. So we're going to do 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in the next 13 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and place my stitch marker here. And then you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 13. And then repeat with an increase of 2 single crochets and then 13 single crochets. We'll do that all the way around. At the end of round 15, you'll have 90 stitches. Alright, so we finished our round 15. We have 90 stitches for this base of the Easter basket that we're making here. We're going to take out our stitch marker we're going to do a slip stitch into that space that the stitch marker was in. And then with the pattern, they want you to do a slip stitch and then move the stitch marker one stitch to the left. And now we're going to get ready to make the body of the basket. I'm going to be using 3 different colors. This is the yellow. I'm going to do 2 rounds with the yellow to create a nice chunk on the bottom of the basket, and then we'll change over to the other 2 colors that I have later on. So we're going to start off with the body of the basket for round 16. You're going to do a chain 2. So we chain 1, chain 2. We're going to do a half double crochet into the same stitch. So we yarn over, put through, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. There's our half double crochet. Alright, so for round 16 we did 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around, which would be 90 stitches. We're going to do a slip stitch into the first half double crochet that we did for round 16. And we're going to do a slip stitch in every stitch all the way around to finish off round 16. So we started with that one, we'll do a slip stitch, put through, and pull all the way through. And you're going to do this all the way around in every single stitch. We're going to get this stitch marker in here so we don't lose track of our space. I'll meet you guys back when I'm finished with all my slip stitch. Okay, so we did our slip stitch all the way around, finishing off round 16. Now we're going to get started with round 17. So to get started with round 17, you're going to do a chain 2, chain 1, chain 2, and then the next thing you're going to do is a front post double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 2. So getting started with that front post double crochet, you're going to yarn over from our first half double crochet that we did on our last row. You're going to go under it and through, yarn over, pull through, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's a front post double crochet. So now we're going to do 1 front post double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So it's going to be this stitch right here and this stitch right here. So yarn over, go under that previous half double crochet, pull through, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do 1 more. Yarn over, go under and through that half double crochet, pull through and up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Those are front post double crochets, creating the basket weave stitch. Now we're going to be working back post double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So now we're going to do our back post double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, and instead of going in the front like we were before, we're going to go in through the back. You're going to insert your hook over the back through the opening like this. Yarn over, pull through, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And that's a back post double crochet where it's coming more from the back than the front. We're going to do 2 more. So yarn over, insert through the back, pull through, pull up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Last one, yarn over, insert through the back, pull through, pull through, and pull through. And that's 3 front post double crochets and 3 back post double crochets. So for this round 17, you're going to switch between 3 front post double and then 3 back post double. And you keep doing that sequence all the way around. At the end of the round, you'll still have 90 stitches, no increases, no decreases. I'll meet you guys back at the end to slip stitch into here. Alright, so we finished round 17, the first one with our basket weave stitch here. This is what it looks like here. So I want to change to this blue color here. So I'm on my last stitch, getting ready to do my slip stitch into the first stitch of our last round. Let's turn this down so we can see this. So this stitch right here, we're going to do a slip stitch. So we're going to put it in, and instead of pulling through the yellow, we're going to grab our blue thread like this. We're going to hold the thread against the back side of the basket, and we're going to hold it here. This will prevent it from going anywhere and keeping our tension snug. Once we do that, we're going to yarn over like we would, pull it through here, and go ahead and pull it through the yellow one as well. Now the yellow one's gotten a little loose, so pull the yellow tail snug, and then now it's secure. So we're going to start doing our next part of round 17, which is a slip stitch in every stitch all the way around. So we'll go through and do a slip stitch round, but with the blue yarn instead of the yellow. Alright, so we did our round 17, a slip stitch and a chain 2, getting ready for round 18. We're going to yarn over, put through the front post like we've been on the last round, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2, and we're going to do that 2 more times. I'll go like this, 1, 2, like that. We're doing the same sequence that we were doing with the previous round, and we're going to go do our back ones now. So yarn over, going through the back like this, pulling through, yarn over, going through the back, pull through, going through the back, and pull through. Those are our back post double crochets and front post double crochets. So we're going to keep repeating the same 3 front post doubles and 3 back post double crochets all the way around for round 18 and 19. If you want to change colors when you get to round 19, you would change colors when you get to that slip stitch space, the same way that we changed it at the beginning of this round, or you can just keep using the same solid color. So finish off round 18 and 19, and I'll meet you guys back for round 20. Alright, welcome back. So we should all be at the point where we have our row 17, 18, and 19. These are all starting with front post double crochets, and then we have our row 20, 21, and 22. We're going to work on 22 together. These are starting the round with back post double crochets. In between each round, we're doing a slip stitch round all the way around. So here we did our slip stitch, and then we're going to do a chain 2, and we're going to start with our back post double crochets. So yarn over, go through the back, pull through, and pull through. So yarn over, go around the back the same as before, pull through, and pull through, and pull through. So we did our 3 back post double crochets. We're going to do 3 front post double crochets, so going under the same as we have been and doing our double crochet, going under, and going under. So to finish round 22, we're going to keep repeating back post double crochets, front post double crochets, all the way around, doing a slip stitch row in between. Once you finish round 22, you're going to start round 23 to 25, which is a repeat of round 17 to 19 with the front post double crochets first and then the back post double crochets second. And then rounds 26 to 28 is back post double crochets first with front post double crochets second. This is all going to be in the written pattern in the description box below if you lose track. And then row 29 to 31 is going to be a repeat of row 17 to 19, which is front post double crochets first and back post double crochets second. We're going to do all that. I'm going to do all that off camera. I'll meet you guys back at the end of round 31 when we have the full height of the basket, and we're going to get ready to do the trim and the handles. Alright, so I finished a lot of crochet off camera. This is the basket from all the way to round 31. The different colors that I have here. We're going to get started on round 32. It says round 32 to 33. So we're going to do 2 rounds to make a trim here at the top. I want my trim to be yellow, so we're going to go ahead and get started on that. We're going to pull our yellow thread through, doing our slip stitch, pulling our blue nice and snug. We're going to do a chain 1, and we're going to do 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around for rounds 32 and 33. So I'm also going to grab both of these smaller threads of yarn, and we're going to keep them against the side of the work to secure them into place so that we don't have to sew them in later. So to chain 1, we're going to do 1 and just start our single crochets. Our single crochets, we're just putting it into the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to keep doing this all the way around. I'll meet you guys back at the end of round 33. In between round 32 and 33, you're going to do a slip stitch and a chain 1. So I finished my round 32 and 33, just single crochets all the way around to kind of make the top trim. We're going to do our slip stitch here. And we're going to start round 34 with a 17 single crochets. So we're going to do a chain 1 and we're going to do 17 single crochets. Alright, so this is our 16th single crochet. I want my handles to be pink, so I'm going to change to my pink yarn. So halfway through the 16th single crochet, I'm going to use the pink yarn to finish it off. Pulling my yellow thread a little tight to make sure that my pink doesn't come out. I'm going to do the 17th single crochet is going to be in the pink, holding the tail against the inside to secure it so that you don't have to sew it in. That's our 17th single crochet. And now we're going to do a chain of 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We finished our chain 24. I skipped 10 stitches here, working into that 11th stitch. We're going to put in and do half of a single crochet. We're going to do a color change to our yellow, using the yellow to finish this single crochet, making sure everything's snug. Holding the pink thread against the back inside of it, we're going to do 35 single crochets. I'll do the first few with you just to make sure that my pink thread is secure. not going anywhere. You're going to continue with the 35 single crochets. I'll meet you guys back. Now that we did our color change, we're going to secure it with a single crochet, and then we're going to do a chain of 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 24. We have our chain 24. We're going to skip 10 stitches here again, and then we're going to do the single crochet with the color change into the 11th stitch. So we're going to put it in, do it halfway, grab our yellow, yarn over and pull through 2, finishing that single crochet off. We're going to continue with the rest of the single crochets to finish us off and do a slip stitch here. I'll meet you guys back at the end of this round. So we finished off round 34. We're going to get started with round 35. I did a slip stitch already. I'm going to do a chain 1. We're going to do 16 single crochets. So 1, 2. Alright, so we did our color change over here in the 16th single crochet. We're going to go into the next stitch here. We're going to do a decrease. So 2 stitches together. Making sure the pink yarn stays nice and snug. We'll yarn over, pull through all 3, and then we're going to do 22 single crochets across here. I'll meet you guys back at the end to do the color change. So on the last crochet, single crochet of the handle, the 22nd crochet, we're going to go ahead and change to back to our yellow yarn. We're going to grab here, yarn over and pull it through. We'll cut this tension piece here in a minute. And with our yellow thread, we're going to do a decrease of 2 single crochets. So put into the next stitch, pull through, the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's our decrease. Pull this area a little tighter here, and make sure you pull that pink one a little snug to make sure everything stays together. And then we're going to continue with the pattern. After you do that decrease, you're going to do 33 single crochets. I'll meet you guys back at the end of the 33 single crochets. Alright, so we finished the single crochets and I did a color change already. I'm going to go ahead and do a decrease here. 2 stitches together. Yarn over, pull through all 3. You're going to do 22 single crochets across. Then we're going to do our color change back over here, and you're going to go ahead and finish off round 35 on your own. Once you do your 22 single crochets over and across, do your color change and then do a decrease of 2 stitches together, and then finish off with 16 single crochets and then slip stitch to the last round.